Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. You are all making Gotham great again. Been covering the Epstein case a lot since it broke. And one of the things I've talked about is all the other people that were involved that knew about it. Not just the powerful people in the Black Book, but like people that worked for him, with him. I've talked about Ghislaine Maxwell and what she has done. And there was an article in the New York Post, not that I think the New York Post is some cornerstone of amazing journalism, but they go into all the people that worked with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, this is on August 10th, right? And in the 2 weeks since then, the talk of this has started to fade by the mainstream media, right? And you still hear like, oh, he committed suicide. That's a done deal. No one's investigating that. If you ask questions, you're a conspiracy theorist, right? We're not hearing about his ties to rich and powerful people. This article talks about it, but you're not seeing, even this, I had to go like New York Post's like online source or whatever, right? It goes into some powerful people. So I think it's not going after as many as I think it should, but the powerful people, they should be talking about that on Fox and MSNBC and CNN. But what the problem is Fox just talks about the Clintons' involvement, and MSNBC just talks about Trump's involvement, if they even talk about it at all anymore, right? A battalion of lawyers, pilots, models who worked for Epstein stay at a doorman high-rise in Manhattan, the epicenter of the Epstein Empire. Many of the units at 301 East 66th Street were owned by a New York shell company registered in Columbus, Ohio, the home base of Victoria's Secret owner and Epstein's billionaire benefactor, Leslie Wexner. I talked to Whitney Webb from Mint Press News about all of this. Leslie Wexner has been tied to Epstein for a while. This is also Columbus, Ohio, is when they moved the airport from Mena, Arkansas, the CIA airport, up this just opens it up even more. So what part of this is we're seeing Epstein's shell companies, and many of them were modeling agencies. So these modeling agencies, the modeling industry is pretty horrible from what I understand. And Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and this other woman we're going to get into in a second, would go, recruit models. We know they're grooming children to be sexually exploited by pedophiles, is what that's how we define that now. But they would bring models to the U.S. and the building owned by MC2, a modeling company run by Epstein and pal Jean-Luc Brunel. The company was financed by Epstein beginning in 2003, court papers show. So see how he did this? So we know he had a fake hedge fund that they had one client, which I believe was Leslie Wexner, right? Court papers, this modeling company, which they funnel these girls through. Epstein enabler or groomer, Sarah Kellen, allegedly kept lists of young women to recruit as massage therapists for her boss, according to court papers. So she knew exactly what was going on. She participated in it, profited from it, was paid by Epstein, knew this was happening. She knew these were children. She booked travel for them, the models and the children, and Kellen was a frequent passenger on Epstein's jet, flight records show. You flew on that jet and you were booking, you knew exactly what was going on. You knew exactly what girls were going where, right? What the court papers show. Now, these are the 2000 court papers that were released on August 9th, right? And then, of course, Epstein, committed suicide on the 10th. He was either murdered or he was extracted by the CIA. We may never know. The court papers say both Kellen and Maxwell warned the girls not to speak to their encounters with Epstein. So you can't give me this, I didn't know, we were just booking models. No. Witnesses say these women told us to shut up, right? But what happened These women were protected because in the 2007, when Epstein was busted for solicitation of prostitution and being a pedophile, in 2007, 2008, they made this sweetheart deal that we've talked about. In that agreement, ensured that none of these women who worked as his enablers would be criminally charged. They were protected. The federal immunity was negotiated with former Miami federal prosecutor Alexander Acosta, who is now working for Trump, but he's supposedly disgraced and has stepped down. See, it ties to everybody. It ties to Trump. It ties to the Clintons. Like, if you think this is a partisan issue, if you're picking a partisan side with this, you are missing the whole thing. This is the ruling class. This is how they operate. The two parties are just, that's just for political theater. That's like sports teams that they just want you to buy jerseys for and cheer for. You know, in Las Vegas, what Las Vegas hopes you do when you bet on a sporting event is that an equal number of people bet on both teams. We want the Packers to win or we want the Bears to win, right? They want, if an equal number of people bet, then Las Vegas wins money. So, but again, so that's a cut. So this is both parties are part of this evil. In one of the court papers, they told the court that over a 10-year period, Maxwell brought more than 100 young women that she called massage therapists to Epstein's home. This was in the defamation case. 3 women made the accusations. She settled out of court with them. 2 of those women also said Ghislaine Maxwell raped them. So Ghislaine Maxwell, but again, this is the problem. Even when you go to the mainstream media to get some information, they go through some of these court reports, they still play this in a defamation case against British socialite and former Epstein gal pal Ghislaine Maxwell. Earlier in the article, you just said these women accused what Ghislaine Maxwell did. She is not a socialite and gal pal. This is in a defamation case against British pedophile and sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell. Former Epstein girlfriend and business associate, that's relevant, but she is a pedophile. She is a pedophile, and she's a sex trafficker. And so is this woman, Sarah Keller. Is the Sarah Keller woman a pedophile? Did she rape any of these children? That we don't. I haven't seen documents yet. But again, there's 2,000 pages. There could be a million things I'm missing. But she absolutely knew. She absolutely is. Sarah Keller is definitely a sex trafficker. Make no bones about it. I'm going to get another interview with Whitney Webb very soon. If you haven't, please watch my interview with Whitney Webb. And there were some sound issues on that one. It's up and down, but you can still hear everything she says. And this is probably my 6th or 7th video on the Epstein case. I'm going to keep talking about this because I really want to know why now that we're like a month removed from his first arrest, we're 2 weeks out from his murder, we're not getting into all of the wealthy billionaires that knew about this. And these people, Wexner, Keller, Maxwell, who were participating in this and knew were profiting from it. You can't run a global sex trafficking ring without a bunch of people participating and profiting from it. And which of them were actually participating in the sexual assault of these children? We don't know all of that yet, but many of them were. There's no way they weren't. Ghislaine Maxwell, we know. Wexner, almost assuredly, he owns Victoria's Secret. How many children did he snatch up and dangle? Oh, you're going to be a famous model with my company. And then exploit them and abuse them while they're children. More to come on this. Like, share, subscribe these videos. YouTube is unsubscribing people, and also like the majority, not all, but the majority of my videos on anything involving the Epstein case have been demonetized by YouTube. I put that in all caps in the comment section. Once that happens, I say this video has been demonetized. So I need your help in other ways. When you share these videos, make sure you've subscribed, put it on your social media, and also go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. You can support this channel for as little as $2 a month. And also rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. And then join us on the road for the Progressive Comedy Tour, September 4th through the 8th. Ron Placone and I, who you've also seen on the Jimmy Dore Show. The Progressive Comedy Tour shows are amazing. We get a bunch of progressives and people together. You feel like you're all alone. You come to those shows, you leave with, we have organizations like the DSA and Movement for a People's Party and the Green Party. We've had all these different organizations come out. So you get involved in your local community. September 4th, we're in Omaha, the 5th, Sioux Falls, the 6th, Madison, the 7th, Minneapolis, and the 8th, Iowa City. And I will be in Russia doing a show in Moscow on the 20th, St. Petersburg on the 27th. Those ticket links aren't up yet, but I will be in Moscow and St. Pete. And then ticket links for our Australia tour, those are up in November. The 14th, Melbourne, the 15th, Adelaide, the 17th, Sydney, the 22nd, Perth. GrahamElwood.com. It's in the show notes for all the ticket links. And support everything that I'm doing. Follow me on social media. Thank you so much.